All right, uh, we are live. Let me just quickly give me a minute, students. I'm just opening YouTube on my another tab so that I can just also see the chat coming in. Yes, all right, there we go. Hi, good evening, Manti Ghosh. Hi, Ankita. Hi, Hussein. Hi, Aparna. Prerit, Dattadeep, Latika, and all. All right, good. So many of you are here live. We have audience building up. How are you all doing? Yes. Akbar is asking what topic are we covering today? What topic should we cover, right? Yes, I'll just firstly start off. I'll share my screen. We know if the screen is up. Just give me a minute. And yes. So first of all, I'll share the script with all of you. All right. So yeah, all of the live members. Let me switch to the live chat. All messages. Yes. So we have. The admin, the LetsUpgrade has dropped a drive link. Can you all please quickly open that? Good evening. We will be doing joins. Yes, that you guessed it right. I also have a tab open for joins. I'll be covering that. And for the people, I listen to all of you. Akbar was asking what are we covering today. Dattadeep is asking, and people are asking. Let's discuss that. That today the idea is we will be starting with commands, SQL commands. I think there was also one comment. Can we start with commands today? Let's start with commands. Yes, Akbar, we are directly starting from there. That's good for all of you, right? Because that's what you all wanted. But before we go there, please, in a calm manner, can you all confirm that you're able to open this drive link? I've shared a drive link with all of you. If I just try to paste here, Google Drive, let me see where it lands up. Yes, it does open up the script for me. Let us confirm if we have this script with us, all of us. Yes. Okay, people are commenting in yes, yes, yes. Okay, it's accessible. Perfect. It then should be working for all of you. We all can just quickly scroll through all this chat. Sorry, the script. We can just simply copy it from here. We can also download it from here. If the download option is not working for you due to any permission issues, you can simply right click and copy it. If the link is too big to be copied in one go, you can do it in parts. Maybe we can copy this much of the area and work with it, right? Okay. The idea is that for the people who want to do this through Workbench, people who do not want to do it through a browser, you can just simply add this script to your Workbench area, right? So total of 389 lines, which will add different things. And if you run the script using the execute the selected portion or execute everything, if you execute all of it, you will somehow be able to get this temp db. Okay, what I recommend is rename this temp db to something else. If I do control H, if I go for find and replace, I'll search for temp db and I'll replace it with something like medical db, something like that, right? I'll just replace it. That's a better sounding database to me. Okay, so but again, just tested the script and yes, it was able to generate admissions, doctors, patient names for us. Okay, that's what we ideally want, and that's what my medical db is also all about. Okay, so yes, people, this is your test database that you can utilize to learn SQL, practice SQL, okay, on your own pace also. Good. Now once this is done, let us just quickly start off with some basic scripts. Okay, I click on don't save. I'll start off with a new script over here. Let me, okay. So first of all, let me understand how do we write things. Okay, so this is how you write single line comment in SQL editor. Okay, so suppose if you are using any query tool, and if you are doing any type of query, let me scroll down. Yes. Okay, so Prachiti is asking, how do we add this script? Okay, so it's very simple. If you have opened up your workbench, you just need to click on this plus option right on the top left area where the file, edit, and view tab is. Okay, just below it, you can create a new SQL tab for executing queries. If you click on it, this tab should open up. You simply need to paste whatever you're copying. Okay, so whatever's on my copy list should be pasted here. So for an example, did I close that tab? No. Okay, I have it open. So I can just simply copy everything. I'll copy just part of it. You can copy everything and paste it over here. And once you've pasted everything, that's good to go. Sri Lakshmi is asking if I can zoom my screen. Definitely, I can do that for you. I'll just zoom in a lot. Is this enough? Can you read this zoom? Okay. So let us see if this zoom helps. If you people can read it, I'll try to zoom it a little bit more, and this should be more than enough. Okay. Now, with this being said, we just quickly understood that we can create single line comments with dash dash, and we can create slash colon and colon slash for this is multi-line comment. This is a single line comment. Okay, so that's it. Now let us quickly start up and understand first how do we create a database. Suppose we have installed SQL Server successfully. We are running it through a CLI, we are running it through a terminal, we are running it through Workbench, or we are running it through any sort of editor or any type of interface from where we can execute the queries. So how do you create a database? Okay, so to create a database, the command is very simple. The command is create database, okay, space name of your DB. Okay, so remember, anything under this greater than less than symbols is known as an XML tag. So this is a placeholder. This is where you will give your name. Okay, so people who are familiar with Python, we get f strings, right? So this is a Python f string with, you can put a variable over here, right? So how this curly braces work as a placeholder for the actual variable value. Similarly, XML tags are just a way to explain you that this is where your actual name will come. So for example, if I have to create maybe a temp 1, 2, 3 database, if I have to create it, I can just run this command. Remember, SQL needs a semicolon to end it. Okay. Okay, so I see a lot of flood related to attendance link. People are going crazy about attendance link. I think it was discussed yesterday. Everything is in all-in-one document. You just need to open it and go for it. If at all the attendance is not working, the moderators will help you with it. Okay, so with that being said, sir, screen is not visible. I highly doubt that. I think my screen should be visible to people. Let's check. Okay. Okay, and apart from it, is SQL Workbench how to create a table if you can use? Oh, of course. But first, let us create a database, then we will create a table. Okay, so this is the syntax to create a database. Okay, and I'll give you a much better way to do it is to use if not loop or the if not syntax. It is because it's a good practice that to check if it does not exist. So if not exists, okay, so this is the reserved keywords. I told you yesterday how scripting language for SQL works. Point number one, it has certain reserved keywords. Reserved keywords means that these words are they have a predefined meaning. Like SQL will understand create not as a free text, or not as your variable name, or not as your inputs. For SQL, create means a command to be run. And database also reserves a special type of execution or certain type of rules for SQL. These are reserved keywords. They are meant to do something. If, else, not, exists, database, tables. Okay, these are some reserved keywords. Alter, delete, drop, use, insert. Okay, so whatever is in the blue, since I'm using an IDE, and these are the benefits of using an IDE, that it is able to highlight me in blue, or in a better format that it makes easy for me to understand, that you see a subtle light blue color is used here for comments, a dark a color is used for reserved keywords, black is used for variables. Okay, so suppose if I have created this again for people who are joining in late, because I started with 100 live audience, now I'm more than 200 300 people coming in here. Just a recap that I have shared you a link, okay, this drive link, which is again being shared by the moderators in the chat. You just need to copy the script from here and run it to create this database. Just copy and paste it in the SQL editor, run it with this thunder icon. This database will be created, okay, medical DB. Of course, it will be temp DB for your case. You just need to rename that script. Coming back, so people, this is how we create a database. And suppose if you have to teach or tell SQL to use this DB now, how do we do that? Okay, so first this command is done. How do we tell? So use is the keyword used. Okay, use, and then comes the database name. Okay, so in our case it is temp123. I want to use temp123 as my DB for now. Okay, again semicolon is needed to use it. How if not exists work is a query someone is asking us, so let us answer that. So if exists and if not exists, these are two different queries. Okay, so if is like a conditional check. If I put it in Hindi, it will replace with the word agar. Okay, so agar ye hai, if it is so. Okay, so if it exists, theek hai, but if it does not exist is where if not exists comes into picture. So we will create a database only and only if it does not already exist. This is what if not exist will do and how it will work. Okay, it will first check by doing slash database or slash d command. It will internally check all the available databases, the name of databases that I have in this local, which is available in to me in the left. Okay, right over here. So for an example, if I was to create a database by the name of hotels, so it will throw me an error that hotels already exist. Okay, so in order to use a better command, it is to compile it with if not exists, because this will not throw an error and it will also not create a database. So for an example, if temp123 already exists in my schemas, it will not create this. Okay, it will simply skip this command. So that's the purpose of it. I hope you got that. Okay, so with that being said, now how to tell SQL to use this DB now? So use the use command. Okay. Now let us understand again. I think where it is. I keep a track of all the chats. Someone back there was asking, how do we create tables? Okay. Yeah, Akbar was asking it. Yes. So let us go back and understand how to create tables in this database. Okay, so in order to do that, we have create command. The create command is a command which invokes a new or spawns a new object. It could be a new database, it could be a new table, it could be a new record. Okay, so again, so create is used to make that. Now since we are not making a database, we are making a table, so we'll mention create table. And if you're guessing it, you're guessing it right. We will use if not exists. These commands will work even without if not exists, but this is more better way to do it again and again, repeating that. Okay, great. So yes, now if not exists, let us create the table name coming in here. Okay, all right. Now for Ajay, who is asking how do you insert values. So as I mentioned, first let us learn how to create database. Now we are learning how to create table. Once you have created, I will tell you how to insert values also. Okay, so let's go with the flow. Now, okay, what is the trigger in the database? Someone is asking. So trigger is nothing but it's like suppose we have set a certain there is certain activity. Suppose if it is happening, then we want to trigger a certain script. We want to trigger maybe I will give you an example. Okay, so suppose if I have uploaded a photo. Okay, if I have uploaded a photo on Instagram, so I will create certain set of triggers which will which are like automation scripts, okay, which will work as per an action. So I'll write a query: if new photo uploaded, then trigger this. So what will the trigger could be that I'll update all the users which are my followers or people who can see my photo in their database. I'll go and update a new activity that new photo is uploaded by me, okay. And that is how the trigger will update the database, and maybe it will set another trigger which is to send notifications to people that, hey, you follow this person, they have uploaded a new photo. Maybe, hey, these people are streaming live, do you want to view it? Tab on this notification, something like that, right? All right. So again, for all the people, what is inner join, outer join, we are covering that. Do not deviate from the topic, people. Let us go with the flow, right? So we have understood what database is, how to use it, and how to create a table, okay? And all the queries will not be not go unanswered. We are learning all of those questions in this session only. Within this 1 hour, I will answer all of that, okay? Now I have a query, sir. If we are not using, if not exists, will it create duplicate tables? If not, actually, then it would. It will not get duplicate tables. It will throw an error that it already exists. Okay, skipping that. So create a table if not exists. Putting a table name. Maybe let us create a table name by the name of products, or maybe use a better name for a DB, which is like e-commerce. Okay, e-commerce, something like that. All right. So here we go. We'll create a table by the name of products. Now, for the people who are asking how to insert things, first let us understand how to declare a table, because yesterday we learned a very important concept, which is to define the schema. Okay. So before we insert it, what are the things which will be there? So maybe I'll call the first column as product ID. Okay. So product ID is something that, according to me, this is from my understanding. Remember, all the people live here, that before we start coding, we first have to design the schema on paper and pen. Okay. There is a management, there are like your seniors, your lead architect people, designer people in your company, or designer people in your startups. They will be responsible to design a schema. Once they've designed it on paper and pen, once they have decided internally, they will know what is the primary key and how does this schema work. Once you have it, only and only then you come over here, right? So for example, I already know that product ID is supposed to be my you can say primary key, okay, and I want to set it to something which is auto incremental, okay. So every time I add a new product, one strategy could be I can create a random 16 digit or 32 digit string which is unique, okay, for each product as a product ID. Other is to use an auto incrementer. So for an example, what is the data type? The data type is integer. It's an integer, okay, and I will use auto increment on it. So what does auto increment function does? So suppose if I have inserted the first product, suppose if I am selling fruits. So suppose if I enter apple, so apple by default has product ID 1. If I go for orange, it has product ID 2. If I go for bananas, it has product ID 3. So as soon as I append any more products into my table, auto increment will make sure that 4 and 5 and such a sequence is solid for key generations, right? All right. Am I missing on any chats? Not for now. All right. So auto increment, and then we will also set it as a primary key, okay. So this is what we will set. This is first column that we have created in our SQL table, which belongs to our e-commerce database. Okay. Now, not only this, we could have multi more things, like maybe we could have product name to begin with. So product name is a variable character. So if you're not very sure what should be the length, ideally 255 is a standard that we go with, that maybe this is the amount of length in which the name should fit, and it should not be null. Okay, if this is the properties I'm setting. So I'm trying to explain you multiple things around it, okay, that what are the few extra parameters you can set with each column. So for an example, I should not have a product who doesn't have a name. Its name should be there. So not null is the condition which will there. So this will enforce data integrity, which mentions that this particular row cannot be null. Okay, that's condition number 1. Okay, so just give me a minute. Going. Okay. Going back, okay, let us now start off with, we have product name. Now, let us have price to it. Of course, we will be selling it for certain price, and as you get it, if we are selling it for maybe uh, rounded off values, we could go for integer here, but maybe we will go for decision decimal, which is like maybe we could have up to 10 digits and two precisions to it. Okay, and again, it should not be null. I'll not accept any product which doesn't has or have price to it. Okay, and maybe then I'll say added date. Okay, so by default this is again a column uh, which will help me understand when was this product added into my database. Now Sri Lakshmi is asking, is it necessary to mention not null? No, it's not necessary, but if you do not add that, it implies that you are okay to accept null values for that column. Okay, so schema designing is very important, and you should be very careful the way you're designing it. If you do not mention not null, SQL will accept null values for it. So tomorrow you do not want to be suppose you're running e-commerce platforms like Flipkart, Amazon. You do not want a thing to be sold who doesn't have a name to it. वो एसी है, फ्रिज है, टीवी, हमें पता ही नहीं क्या है वो, क्योंकि it doesn't have a name to it. Similarly, we do not want to sell something which doesn't has a price to it. How can I sell it if the customer doesn't know how much does it cost, right? Again, Aaron is asking, product ID int auto increment. Can you explain this once again, sir? Yes, definitely. I'll do that for you. So again, this is the column name. So whatever is in the left, which is in the black, are the column names. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, on the right, I'll what I will do is I'll add one comment on top of it so that you can also follow a recap for it. So this is the column name. Then followed by space. This is the data type. Okay, so in our case, column name is product ID. Space data type is integer. Okay, space. These are optional parameters right over here. Okay. Until unless we add a comma to it. So what are optional parameters? They are, one is auto increment. And how does auto increment work? So one logic to create a product ID, since product ID is something that I want to make it as a primary key. Okay. So I have to make sure that it always has a unique number in front of it. One way is I can create a UID maker. So in any, suppose if you are following Node.js, Java kar rahe ho, Python kar rahe ho, there are tools, there are libraries which can help you generate a unique identifier or unique key, 16 digit, 32 digit, okay, random variation to that. And using it, you can then use it to upload over here. But another way is a strategy which is known as auto incrementation. For an example, how do you ensure that every student has a unique roll number? Okay, so simply what we can do is, okay, we will design a database in which we'll start by giving roll number one. We'll start with integer one as our first. Whoever the first student who comes to school, will give it roll number one. Okay, and then when a second student comes, we do not want to put our head over here. We will use auto incrementation. जो भी previous student को हमने roll number दिया था, we will use it and plus one to it. So next student will get 2. Then we'll have another student coming in. So roll number 3, roll number 4, roll number 5. I think this is how in reality also this example works for school, right? How roll numbers are designed are maybe alphabetically from your name. They just keep on incrementing. So this is one way. So even if I have 100 products coming in tomorrow, so 100th product will have product ID is 100. And the first product will have product ID as 1. Okay. That's how auto incrementation work. It automatically understands. Okay. Suppose if I'm adding something new into the DB, I have to give it +1 from the previous entry, whichever it was. So I hope it explains you what auto increment product ID is all about. Okay, give some examples to understand constraints. Yeah, I am also giving that, right? All right. So with that being said, again, so price I told you it could be in decimals also. Hence I want a precision of 2 to it. Okay. Now added date. Again, I told you how added date. This is my variable name, by the way. How this will help me is it will help me understand that when did I launch this product on my database. Okay. So I need a time stamp to it. So again, timestamp is a reserved keyword. It is a reserved functionality which will simply add the timestamp. So in timestamp, okay, I think Yash has a problem in my workbench. It says that it could not connect to any server or no connection established. Please, unable to connect to localhost. Just make sure that your SQL server is installed. Okay, SQL server management, or basically you should have SQL somewhere. So even if you go to add or remove programs, I hope my entire screen is visible. You can just simply search for SQL and SQL Server 8.0. So this is installed for me, 548 MB. Okay, and I used this SQL installer, something 350 MB yesterday. So make sure, yes, that first you install the server correctly, and once you install server, on top of it, workbench will work. Okay, and if at all there is any issue, you can just reload. Or for now, you want to follow this session, you are more than welcome to use the online editor for now. Okay, I think yes, SQL-practice.com. Okay, so even this will work. Getting back. So timestamp is nothing but date followed by the current timestamp in hour, minute, second precision level. Okay, so I'll use that, and I will use the default as the time zone, and maybe current timestamp is what the default will be. So in timestamp, I want default to be current timestamp. Current timestamp matlab kya hoga? So wherever I have hosted this server, wherever in the world this server is running, so by default it should take a value which is current timestamp. Okay, until unless I deliberately pass it some another value which is like some another timestamp I want to manually edit it. But by default, this is the default value. So for an example, suppose if I am, how can you use it in real life scenarios? Not for timestamp, but how default can be used. I'll give you an example. Suppose we have maybe two type of users in our service, whatever you're providing. One is the regular user, the other is VIP. Okay, so by default, every VIP is a default user also, or the regular user also, right? So we can design it like a user type default should be regular if VIP is not mentioned. So that's how default helps us fall back to a default value. Okay, yes. So DK coding, did I miss any of your comment? I'm not sure if I did. You can add on if you have any queries, okay, rather than just simply spamming it. So apart from it, we have added date, and we have a semicolon to fix it. Okay. Now this is how we create a table in any of the database, any of the table. Okay. Right. So I'll give you some time, absorb this, try to code this along with me. Let us see if you are able to do it. Now, of course, let us create one more table, which is like we created products. Let us create another table in database, say orders to begin with. Okay, we can simply create something like orders. Okay, so let us scroll down. So Shubham is asking, can you explain how auto increment and primary key works? Well, I've explained it twice, so without wasting time, you can just rewind the video and find the explanation somewhere. Okay. So coming back, let's create a table again. So we are creating table, which is again if not exists. Okay. The table name will be orders this time, and again the schema will be designed over here. Okay. So let us follow first of all maybe the column name which I'll follow is order ID. Now by default, you can, if you're a good database designer, you have worked with a lot of DBs, you will realize that mostly IDs, order IDs, unique IDs, primary IDs, they are mostly the unique or primary keys. Okay. All right. So Divakar is asking, sir, if I am good in SQL commands like okay, DDL, DCL, TCL, can we be able to handle any kind of table? Yes, of course. If you are comfortable with all of them, you will be able to handle any of these tables. Plus, Divakar, I have a surprise for you that not exactly a surprise. It is available on Google. Anyone would have seen it. But I will walk you through the complete roadmap. Okay, I'll tell you what exactly is to be done in SQL after this session quickly. Okay. Yes, and Shubneet, quickly, auto increment is nothing but as soon as you keep on adding rows, it will keep on incrementing the value. If roll number was 1, if you add something more, roll number gets 2 automatically. If roll number is your column name, for an example, if you add more value, roll number gets 3. So that's how auto increment works. So primary key, again, I'll explain over here. So order ID, suppose I have to keep it unique, and this is how I will identify something in the table. So I will use auto increment on it. Okay. So again, I want auto increment because suppose if first order is generated, I do not want to put head. Okay, what should be the order ID? I'll go with auto increment. So by default, it will be an integer starting with 1. Okay, and from there it will auto increment. Next order aya, we will give it order ID 2. Next order aya, order ID 3. Okay, and similarly, we can see this even in Zomato, Swiggy coming in, like order number kya hai? Order number 35, order number 40, order number 50. It's an auto incremental level, right? Even if you go to MACD for an example, order ID 1192, order ID 1195, it keeps on resetting, and from there it will again auto increment. Okay, so something like that. Auto increment primary key. Okay, again we want to specify it to be a primary key. Then how do we map it to the previous table? The previous table, if you remember, there was product ID. Okay, now for the people who understand, this is your foreign key right over here, right? So because this is the primary key for some another table. Okay, so in this table it is a foreign key. Can you give examples related to grocery market? Okay, that Zomato CG will work for you. Okay, now with that being said, let us talk about quantity. Like suppose if we have ordered maybe a pizza from Domino's, what quantity? How much of it? 1 pizza, 2 pizza, 3 pizza. So we will have that, and by default, I'm pretty sure you all have guessed it right. It should be an integer, okay, and it should not be null to begin with, right? So if you see, for order ID, I didn't mention it to be not null. It's because it's my primary key, and primary key can never be null. And for product ID, again, if the product ID, if you look into the concept, it was defined in the previous table where it is a primary key again. So need not worry about it being null. Okay, so these two keys are handled. Again, for quantity, I needed it. And again, if you quickly look into the added date, I have not mentioned not null in front of me because it is fine if I do not have a added date to it, because that will not break my functionality, but it is an important feature to have. So but since I'm not depending it on any code to give me this input or any backend developer to give me this input, I'm using timestamp. So again, I'm pretty safe over here. Okay, by default it's a default value to go to current timestamp. So again, not null, not needed there. Okay, so with that being said, these are few ideas that I'm giving you. Again, we will have order date. Okay, so order date could be an example. Now by default it will be a timestamp, default current timestamp. So I hope this is self-explanatory. You will quickly realize that how this works. But one important thing in schema designing that you will need is that how do you link these tables? So for an example, if I go to learn SQL and I click on view schema, you are pretty much able to see that patient ID from patients table has a single line getting merged into admissions right over here, right? So how is this even possible? It is possible because they both understand that patient ID is a primary key in patient's table and it is linked to admissions as a foreign key. Okay. So in order to achieve this functionality, we will have to explain this to our table that, hey, we have a foreigner over here, which is our foreign key, and that key is nothing but the uh, product ID. Okay, mentioned on line number 19. Line number 19, if you see product ID, this is our foreign key. Okay, and we will be explaining it. And from which reference should the SQL map it? So the references are in products table. In products table, again, it could have a different name over there. Okay, maybe this could be product unique ID. Okay. So again, you'll have to mention here it is known as product unique ID. So again, people could have multiple names in different areas. So for an example, I could have a name as Gaurav Deep on maybe in any professional area. Could be maybe when I'm taking sessions over here. I'll introduce myself that my name is Gaurav Deep. So that's my name. But again, in some informal way, my name could also be GD. Okay, people could call me GD for short. So here again, in this particular table we are calling it product ID, but what is its original name in the original table? So that can be different also, but in this case I'll keep it same. But I'm just giving an idea when that's possible. Okay, right. So Divakar is asking, sir, now I am doing my bachelor's, I am good at SQL queries, I know the syntax very well. If you had to create, alter, join, or any basic operations, I would have done that. So what's next for me, sir? So well, Divakar, learning and mastering SQL queries opens multiple doors to you. One could be into the DB admin. Okay, you could be the database administrator for any company. Second, you could be a backend engineer. Depends on what you want to become in your life. Okay, SQL could be useful for many different places to begin with. So find your interest. Even as an AI engineer, I need to use SQL. Okay, it's very important for me to understand SQL queries and read and write through it. Even as a data engineer, it is important for me to understand SQL. Even as a DB admin, it is important for me to understand SQL at a much higher level than just creating altering tables. Okay, and then again, different job profiles need SQL. So it is an important skill to have, but for many professions. Moving ahead, what is the difference between primary and foreign key? So again, I told you in yesterday we have discussed this. Will not put much head over here, but for a quick recap. Foreign key, what it is. So in my current table in orders, okay, if I am working with any column which is a primary key for another column, let's take an example. Line number 19, you see this, there is product ID, which is a column name. So it is a primary key for some another column. Okay, so for me it becomes foreign key. Foreign key, what it is a key which is primary for some another column. Okay, single line explanation. What is foreign key? Foreign key is a key which is primary for some another table. That's it. So I refer it as foreign key because it is primary for some another table. And what it is, the table name is products, and in that table, what do we call it? We call it product ID to begin with. Okay. So, and references are nothing but is a reserved keyword which helps SQL map tables. Okay. With, so when I'm putting references, it will understand that orders is referencing to products. Okay. On basis of what we are using a foreign primary key mapping over here, which is product ID. Okay. So product ID is a linkage. So look at this diagram right over here, that how patient ID is drawing a line in admissions. Both are mapping patient IDs, and patient table is also drawing a line with province name. So again, patient ID. Suppose if I'm province names, I'll write foreign key bracket province ID references patients, and in patients also province ID. So this is one more linkage which is happening. And similarly, doctors and admissions are mapped like that. So references help draw these connections between each other tables. Okay. Well, that's the overall idea. How do you declare different tables? Okay. Anyone running of any doubt over here? No, we are all good. Okay. So, well, once we have done this, maybe what's next in the pipeline could be how do you insert records? Okay. How to insert records into the product table. Suppose if we have to do that. Okay, suppose if this is the idea that we want to do. So first of all, idea is that in order to insert records into product table, so if you want to start fresh, okay, so for an example, suppose I'll try to give you some different examples. Suppose you have to drop any existing ID. Okay, I'll mention over here. Suppose if we want to start from fresh, we can use truncate, which will clear the table from any previous data points. Okay, just to ensure that the table is empty, we can use the command truncate. Okay, so truncate is used to clear out a table, and we will be truncating a table over here. Okay, and the table name is products for us. Okay, so products and a semicolon, and after it we will use the insert command. So insert is used. So insert into what? So insert into products. Okay, products is our table name. So again, okay, so in products, let me just quickly recap what we have product ID. So do I need to give product ID? No, it is auto incremental. Do I need to give added date? No, it is again a default value will carry forward to it. Okay, I just need to mention product name and price. The rest are automatically handled by my schema. So this is our designed one schema. Okay, so remember I was telling you, if suppose I was not using auto increment, then I would have to pass over here the product ID also. Okay, if at all I was not auto incrementing it, then I would have to pass the product name, then I would have to pass the price. Okay, dates are being handled. Okay, these and values. Okay, but since I'm using auto incrementation, I just need to give these two values. Rest are handled by my schema. So what are the values that I'll have to add? Is suppose I'm selling maybe HP Victus gaming laptop. Okay, so suppose if I'm adding it, what is the price of this laptop? Suppose it is 74,500 only. Okay, now by default this is how it will work, but since I'm using up to 2 precisions, I'll add 2 dots, and okay, 5 decimals are fine over here. Okay, all right, so suppose this is something that I'm adding, and I'm adding HP gaming mouse M200. Okay, suppose if I'm adding this, maybe this mouse costs around 4,800. I don't want to add anything paisa or anything, but we have decimal precisions up to 2. Okay, maybe like 50 paisa over here. Okay, and then what we can do is basically we can add a keyboard also over here. Okay, so we will say HP RGB gaming keyboard. Okay, H210. Maybe this is something that I'm adding, and this costs around 2,850 rupees. Okay, .00. So that's the idea over here, that how we can insert values. It could be a single value, multiple value. This is how you will do it. Okay. Can you explain line number 22nd once again? Sure. So from line number 18 to 21 is my schema designing. Okay, like these are 4 different columns that I want over here. But on line number 22, I am drawing a reference. And what it is it? That product ID, which is mentioned on line number 19. Okay, product ID, which is mentioned on line number 19, is my foreign key. This is the concept of foreign key over here. Okay. Then I'm drawing references, which means that this product ID, which is on line number 19, it is a foreign key which is referred to where is its origin. So its origin is in the products table, and in the products table on line number 10, the name of that column is also product ID. It could be a different name also over there, but it will learn to map it if you put names over here. Okay, so name of column in this table, then I will draw references to the referred table name will come over here. Okay, and column name in referred table. Okay, so this will be the overall syntax if you check, and this is what it is supposed to do. Okay, I hope that part is clear. Can you explain the timestamp, default timestamp? Okay, so first of all, line number 21, order ID. So the order date is the column name. What is the data type? It is timestamp. It is very much similar to order ID is a column name, data is integer. Quantity is a column name, data type is integer. Similarly, order date is a column name, timestamp is the data type. And by default means what? So suppose if I'm not passing this column while inserting into the database, for an example, here, if you see, I'm just passing product name and price. I'm not passing by default the, what was it, order date, I think, or the product date or order date. Okay. So if I'm not passing order date over here, so by default, it should take a value for it, which is current timestamp. Current timestamp takes a snapshot of right now. So it is 7 p.m., 18 minutes, 52 seconds, and microseconds along with the date. So that's how the timestamp will work over here. Okay. So again, with that being said, I think people who wanted to understand foreign reference key and the people who wanted to understand default timestamp, these things are clear. Okay. Will truncate delete all the previous records from any particular table and insert the new data? That's correct, RM. Okay. Yes. Why is truncate used? Again, so the idea is, suppose if we want to start from fresh, we can use truncate, else we will never use truncate. Okay, just explaining you how truncate works. So with that being, how to drop table and so okay, first of all, truncate doesn't delete the schema. Drop will completely delete the schema to the schema level. That's the difference, Srinidhira. Okay, yes. So with that being said, if you see, if I'm truncating table, I need not go ahead and explain the schema. It will remember the schema, only clear the table. Okay, and then I'm adding values over here. So with that being said, anything else that I'm missing on? Just a minute, students. Just a minute. Yes. All right, cool. We are good to go. Yes. So with that being said, I think this is how you truncate tables and insert into them. Okay. All right. So let me just check if there is anything. I'll add all this to your theory sessions. Okay, I'll give you all of this in theory sessions. I'll give you easy, medium, hard query sets that you can practice. I'll give you theory notes also. I'll give you these notes also, right? And everything will be packed. I've already given you one script through which you can run. Along with it, I'll also give you the Google slides that I've created for you. Okay, I've created a quick revision presentation which will help you learn joins. Okay. So yes, using truncate, only schema left and all data erased. That's correct, others. That's true. Okay, only schema left and all data erased. So yes, let me for now simply create this, try to run this. Okay, all right. All right, so cannot truncate a table reference in foreign key constraint. Okay, well, fine. We will not truncate it for now. Okay, I have already run it. Let me just reload it somewhere. Yes, we have e-commerce tables coming in over here. Okay, we have orders and products. So if I open products, okay, since it doesn't have anything, let me just simply try to run this. Okay, insert value into products. I'll just run the selected key, and if I go to products, you will realize I have product, a name, price, and date. By default, in this workbench, you will see last row is always null. That is fine. It's not a row actually. Okay, it's just showing you that there are only 3 different columns. So by default, if you see people who are wondering how auto increment works, see 1, 2, 3 came over here. Timestamp, for people who wanted to see how timestamp would look like, you will realize that all of them have same timestamp because my precision of adding them was so quick that within this, even if you go for micro precision level also for 54 seconds, you will have to go into the more you can say precision to see that where they were added. They were all added within 1 second only, right? So how do you run this query? So to run the query, either you can select a part of the query you want to run and execute the selected portion only. If there is no portion selected, it will run everything from top to bottom. That's how this thunder signal will work over here. Okay. Yes. All right. So that's cool. I think you have understood a lot from this till now. Okay. Let me just copy everything and put it all for you. Control A, put it all for you right over here. Okay. So I'll just quickly recap. So how do you create a database if it doesn't exist? You can use this, my new store, and use new store. You can create a products. Okay. You can create this. You can create one more table. So insert records. Okay, you can clear the table by using truncate. I've commented it for now. Okay, uh, insert over here and then insert over here order IDs. What is the product ID and what is the quantity? Remember, product ID should be available to you, and it should logically come from the products table only. Okay, so for now we are adding over here, we are making sure we by mistake do not add 4 or something like that. That will break the linkage. So product ID is over here and then there are quantities. And once we run this, okay, let me just reload it. So what's the DB name that I use? My new store. Okay, here it is, my new store. We go to tables. You see we have order IDs. So order ID's first order came for product ID 1. So what was product ID 1 holding? It was holding laptop. Okay. So one order came for laptop, single quantity at this time, and second order was for order ID 3. Order ID 3 was keyboard. So one order came for keyboard, uh, two quantities. This person bought two keyboards from us, and similarly, someone bought a mouse, five quantity. Okay. So explain very clearly between drop and truncate. Can you please let us know the real-time use case of truncate? So real-time use case of truncate is, of course, when you want to scrap the data but not the schema. That's the only real use case of it. Okay. So because it is very useful, you are not dropping your schema, you're retaining the schema. Maybe some wrong values were appended into the database, so you just want to clear the table. Okay, so that's how truncate will be used. Sir, can I insert images? Well, images can be inserted as a path, which could be there are different ways to insert image. Number one, maybe you will store it in byte formats. If you're storing it in byte encoding, yes, you can directly encode it over there. Maybe you're storing it in some maybe some high dimensional vector format, then you can store it. Other common ways, the way mostly companies will store images is that they will either use something like AWS services. Cloud ke andar they will store all the digital dump, which could be your S3 buckets. Okay, either they will have Google Drive, either they will have some server storages. They will have Microsoft का SharePoint हो सकता है, Microsoft OneDrive हो सकती है, but mostly it will be somewhere secure. Okay, so they will be storing there, and from there you can just simply store the image path. So that's how you can store images, photo, videos, digital audio content. Okay, everything will be loaded like that. But again, remember that in database we do not store the media content primarily because it's heavy. We do not want our database to be loaded, because even if a single image has 4 5 MB, and putting it in into a DB is expensive, right? Even in the byte formats. So we simply use path over there. We maybe use S3 bucket as our dump, and we give the path in that area. Okay. So is it mandatory to learn NoSQL for database admin role? I will say yes. It is important that you know both SQL and NoSQL. At least you should know them. Even if you know SQL for expertise level, that is fine. But NoSQL you should still learn, because considering the competition that we are in, it is very difficult to outshine out of everyone. Right? There are so many freshers who will be giving interviews with you. So you need to maximize your skills. So think like that. Whatever you can imagine should be mandatory for you to learn. Okay, whatever is needed in your roles, you should go for it. In drop, whole table is deleted along with schema, but in delete, whole table deleted with schema. Okay, wait, I couldn't exactly catch that, but yeah, we'll come to it. Okay, so with that being said, I think the purpose of this explanation is that you're able to understand how to create, update, and work with it, right? And even by default, suppose even if you are using drop, okay, so drop is used to delete like your databases or other objects, could be table for an example. Now delete is more useful if you are going to remove a single row. So if you have to remove a single row, you will use delete. If you have to delete the complete table or a database, you will use drop. But again, do not worry. Even for a robust mechanism, companies will have something like rollback mechanisms. Okay, so even if an action is performed, say delete, we can use rollback to get back to edit and do it. Okay, can we give an initial product ID and then keep it auto incrementing? Yes, even that is possible. We can use default as 100 and or initially as 100. Okay, it will still work. Okay, so when you first create, let me go back to the script. Okay, so even when you first create the table, you can mention order ID over here, say 100, and then run from it. It will auto increment. Okay, I ran the query 2 times. If added data 2 times, yes, it should ideally. Okay, but make sure that you do not have, if not exist, since it is available, uh, it will make sure that it doesn't overwrite it. But of course, if you are adding with the same product ID, it should ideally throw an error that this primary key is already available. Okay, or maybe just completely overwrite the product ID for you. Okay, got it. Okay, fine. So cool. I will just add this to your notes, and then we are good to go. Now, with that being said, let us now understand a little bit more about tables only. Okay, so first, let me talk about little more complex things from here. But before even I talk that, let me give you a roadmap. Okay, so roadmap.sh/sql.com. So roadmap is a very good website where you can find different roadmaps. Okay, so if you want to master SQL completely in 2025, the idea is that so there are different roadmaps for MongoDB and Postgre also. That is fine. Okay, but if you follow this roadmap, learning the basics. So we understood what is a relational database. We understood how SQL is different from NoSQL. In fact, we also covered graph yesterday, like the difference level. Okay, and we covered the basic SQL syntax, like what are SQL keywords, what are data types, what are operators. Okay, and what does select, insert, update, delete, and things like drop table, create table, alter table. We covered a little bit of DDL language also over here, right? Like unique, not null, foreign key, primary key. These are a few things that we have covered for you. So even if you click on any of this link, you will find theory part mentioned over here. Okay, and you can follow this tutorial. Okay, which is also available. So remember, if you want to recap everything from here, you can just simply click on anything. The theory will be opened up for you. Okay, so if you want to understand once again what is not null used for, not null constraint ensures that the column cannot have a null value. Okay, every record must have certain value. So something like that, you can just run through this roadmap. So the first thing is basics कर लेंगे जो हमने कर लिए हैं. SQL syntax basics, we have done it. Now we are on data definition language and data manipulation language, from where I think yesterday we saw from where. Now we will talk about joins. Okay, like left, inner, full, and much more. Okay, and aggregation, not exactly. matlab, I should I should not waste time there. It is very simple. You will simply click it. Group by or having, you can look into it. Apart from it, you can select the data manipulation language and data definition language. Once this is done, itna along with, then you will go for join queries. Okay, so join kya hote hain? I'll quickly explain you joins also right now. What is inner join, left join, and things like that. Many of the interview questions for databases are about joins only, because that is an important point of view to understand how do you do it. How can you run subqueries? That query number one run hone ke baad, how can you add query number two and then a subquery? And again, that is about how can you write better query languages. So by the time you have learned joins and subqueries, this is more than enough for a backend engineer to understand. Okay, anything beyond there, you will be going into more into the complex level of database managements. Like again, content and everything is fine. Advanced functions are something that even an engineer should know, and how to create views. Apart from it, here is where the security team will come into picture, advanced SQL will come into picture, and how to grant access, how to DB best secure practices. Again, this is not much needed at freshers level or even beginner level. Okay, so to join a company, I think if you are covering till advanced functions, it is more than enough. This roadmap is available anywhere. You can just simply search for Google पे जाओ roadmap .sh. बहुत simple. In fact, like the domain is very simple. roadmap.sh/SQL. If you type, it will open up this for you. Okay, so you can use it. Again, I think this should be available to you by LetsUpgrade curriculum. Okay, they will explain you what we are doing on day one. It will be a quick revision for you. Each of the part will have its own theory mentioned over here. Okay, so you can also learn through this theory. You can understand these parts. And currently on day two, we are seeing how to delete things, create and We will start working on joins now. Okay, that's the idea for day 2. Day 3, we will learn group by and having, but apart from it, I'll make sure that we are running more and more and more practice questions. Okay, so again, I'll just recap, students. I hope you have this script with all of you. We have ran the script, and by this time you should have. Uh, so in this script, if you see, table name is tempdb. You can replace it with anything like hospital.db. Okay, something like that. Cool. So with this being said, let us quickly now start discussing what are joins to begin with. Okay, so people who already understand sets, they are pretty set to understand what joins are. Okay, let me go to view mode and let me go for viewing. All right, so now, okay, all right, let us understand SQL joins for now. I'll also share this presentation with you. Let me just quickly do that for you. In fact, file, share with others. Uh, Anyone with the link is, let me update the permission view. Okay, and I'll put it over here. Yes, so the link will be visible to all of you. It will be given to you in the chats. The moderators, they will give this link quickly to you in the chats. Okay, you will be getting it. What is our story? What are we covering today? So we are covering what are SQL joins, why are they useful, and what are different type of joins that we got here, right? So again, what is SQL join? SQL join combines from two or more tables. So from the current example, if we take whatever we did hands-on, is we created order ID and product ID, right? So there are two different tables. So joins are nothing but that we can combine rows from two or more tables in a relational database. Okay, so SQL is a relational database, and so SQL can do joins. And joins are what? They are nothing but combining rows from two or more tables to begin with. So for an example, if you have to create a holistic view of patient IDs along with their admission dates, along with the doctor who treated them. So I'll have to perform join on three tables: patient tables, admission tables, and the doctor table. Okay. So how we will join it? So we will join patient's first name. Maybe I'll have from patient, I will select the first name and last name, and I'll select the patient ID. And from patient ID, I will map the admission. Okay. From admission, I'll get the admission date and discharge date. And from admissions attending doctor ID, I'll find the doctor name in the doctor table. Okay, so I can create a single row with certain type of information using joins. Okay, so what are different type of joins? Again, different type of joins are nothing but how do you perform it. So why to use joins in SQL? One is it introduces flexibility. I just give you an example. It was pretty straightforward. You can see that how flexible our data becomes, that we can now create different views. We can create different views by using different tables. Like patient name and doctor name were never supposed to be visible to you in a single view, right? But by using joins, you can create a single table which will show them to you. ये patient को किसी doctor ने treat किया, what doctor was treating this patient. With a single join, you can do that. Okay, so which is why they are pretty important. Again, they help you reduce data redundancy. So SQL joins allow us to keep data redundancy low so that we can reduce the amount of data anomalies, because it is a desirable feature to have. Basically, that's the reason, right? And of course, there is efficiency. You cannot deny that. You can execute and show results which are much more faster, because now you don't have to rely on writing more subqueries. You can simply use join and perform action on it, right? The reason for it is, if you wanted to do it without joins, it was still possible, but then there were many if else loops coming into picture, right? So you don't need to write many of the subqueries. A single join table bana lo and just run on it, so that will work. That's why it is efficient. Now again, the different type of SQL joins. One is known as inner join. What is inner join? So I'll quickly reference it to the concept of set. So set theory, for the people who understand set, what are union of set, intersection of set, okay, what is subset, what is inner join, outer join, on subsets also, or set theory also, it is very much the same right over here, right? So link for the notes, yes. Point number one, for whatever hands-on I did, I'll be passing that link to you in a Google document, but that will be on day three. For this Google, for this presentation, I'll make sure that the admins are passing it to you. Okay, I'll just pass this, share this link with all on chats. Okay, so I've shared one link, and the admin will quickly share that link with all of you. Okay, so don't worry, you will be getting it. All right, so with that being said, what is an inner join to begin with? Okay, so suppose I'll give you an example. Suppose I have a master data set, which is like students, which is like employees in a company or students in a school. Okay, now some of the students, they are into cricket sports. Okay, they play cricket for me, or they are into the cricket coaching of the school. Okay, so what will happen is, from the parent database, I'll create one more table which is known as cricket admissions 2025. This is the name of my table. Inside that, I will have the coach name. Maybe I could have a single table, another table of coach, but I'll have students name who are into cricket. I will have name of from when did they join, what was the fees paid by them, what standard are they are in, what division they are in, what is their roll number, and so on. Okay, and similarly, I can have one another table which is for music theory, people who are into music. Okay, so I will have students who are also learning music in my school, and I'll have same type of information like the name of the student, which standard he is in, which division he is in, and so on, right? So what will happen is that, suppose if I have to find students who do both cricketing, who do both cricket and music in my school. So remember the word and. So there are many ways to learn joins. Actually, if you are good into the logic of logic gates, if you understand what is and or, you will understand joins quickly. If you understand set theory, what are sets and how Venn diagrams work, you will understand joins quickly. Okay, so, and these are very essential, very basics. So doc link is not working, it's not downloading. I'm not sure which doc link. Let me just try to see. I'll just try to open one doc link. Okay, so the one doc link which is pinned by the moderator, it is not supposed to download. You cannot download this medical script. The reason why I have not given you download permission is because if I give you a full editor access, maybe by default, if you delete this, then it will be deleted for all of you. I have given you view access only, so you can just simply copy it from here. Okay, you can right click and copy. That's what this link will do. So again, so if you understand the Venn diagram theory, or logic gates, we'll understand this a little better. So, and wo word aa gaya na, and what is it like? Now I'll have to create a table. So remember students, even in a cricket table, there will be many students who are not into music, and in music table there will be many people who are not into cricket. But still, there will be some common people who will be overlapping in both of these sets. That's where inner joins help, if I have to find something like that. Okay, uh, what if you have to run a query which says that, find me all the musicians who also play cricket? Okay, so if I have to do something like that, so obviously I need my B set, like the table B, which contains details of all the musicians. But I also have to overlap it now with the cricket players and make sure that there is no duplicacy. So right join will help me over here to retain uh, all the students who play cricket, but are primarily musicians first. Okay, so cricket is optional, but music is needed. That's right. Now again, a self join is when I have to join it on itself on the same table. You have to run again through join. Okay, so find me all the people who are doing activity X and activity Y in the same table. You have to join it. Self join works over there. Outer join is if I have to find or logic. Okay, give me students in my school who either play cricket or either do music. Both are fine with me. Music or cricket, both are fine with me. So which is where I'll need the outer join. Okay, and left will be when I need all the cricketers but who are also musicians. Okay, so that's also working right over here, right? So docking is okay. Any other comment that I'm missing? No, not for now. And then cross joins are again based on certain type of logics that are given for it to work. So inner joins, they return a new table by combining records that only are matching with the values. The syntax, people I have mentioned syntax over here. So if you try to read, select table one dot column name, table two dot column name, and so on. Okay, table three, table four, table five, from table one in inner join on table two, and this is how you do it. Okay, so again, for each of this presentation layer, you will find that outer join is something like this. Okay, wait, I have few comments coming. Sir, I have a doubt. I executed the data multiple times by mistake, so now the executed table shows duplicated values. Oh well, yes, of course, the script would not have handled duplicacy very well. But you can do it, just or you can just simply truncate everything. Okay, you can just simply delete the complete database. You can use drop database space database name, something like this. You can. I'll just quickly show you. Suppose let me do control A, control X, draw a database. What is the name of the database? My new store. Okay, semicolon. Run it once. If I run it, see my new that database is gone. Let me also remove e-commerce once. Uh, okay. COMMERCE. Let me run it. It is done. Then I'll just rerun it once. So if you rerun it, uh, you will have my new coming in over here. Okay. So okay, I think by default I'm also using drop. Okay, you can just comment it out. Remember, students, you can just comment out this thing if I have given it to you. Okay, you just need to run it once. But the idea remains something like that. Okay, drop database followed by the database name, which is like my new store or whatever is the name that the DB which was created with duplicates. Okay, and then make sure that you do not execute it again and again. Okay, so Prachiti and Harjaskor, I think your doubts will fix there. Okay, right, all right. Let me know if the issue persists. Now, apart from it, I'll just skip this. You can see presentation so that you can have it at your own pace. Okay, now let me go back. I'll just share it with others. Link. All right, sir, I read always that while deleting we should be very careful so we can get the data that we deleted. Dattadeep, you have read it 100% correct. The kind of deleting or dropping that I am letting people do here will not let you retrieve the data. It is completely lost forever. But so this presentation link is available with all of you. But for this practice, we can do it. But in real environments, we even do not simply allow the database scripts to be so simple. Okay. Point number one, we make sure that there are backup DBs also. So even if something goes wrong, we can get it back from the backup. Secondly, we have you can say control layers. Okay, like where we simply commit our changes and then it reflects on the real surface. Okay, so yes, at that point, dropping is not very flexible. You should make sure that if you're dropping something, you are very serious about it. Okay. So with that being said, I think this is the more of the context that I wanted to give you. Uh, Anything apart from it is pretty straightforward. The goal for tomorrow is pretty much set that we need to do a lot of queries. Okay. So again, okay. So okay, am I missing anything? Okay, I have Uday Krishna who wants to understand what is natural join. So a natural join is something like an automatic matching join. Okay, so it eliminates the need to explain कि आपको कौन से condition में matching करानी है, right? Like what is the condition? We do not simply do that condition. Okay, we make sure that the joining is happening on compatible data types only. both the tables have compatible data and automatically वो match कर देगा कहाँ पर join करना है. That's natural join. Okay. Sir, explain in detail joins, and it's because that this topic is very important for interview perspective and real life. Yes. So Shubham, what we are planning to do is, okay, we will be running hands-on on each of this. Okay. So my idea is that, rather than me boring you for next 20-30 minutes on explaining you how joins work, I'll give you real examples on how you can practice joins. Okay. Okay, and Harjas Corris is aiming to becoming a business analyst. Will I have to create databases or only extract data? What is the extent of SQL? For business analyst, the extent would be not to be a DB admin. Something even till advanced functions is more than enough for you. Okay, so if you understand how to create views, which is important for you, this much of is more than enough. Okay. Anything apart from it, integrity, security, and transactions are not your role. All right. So I think, yeah, that's all for now. Let us see if there are any queries that I can handle for today. Okay. I hope this joins was delivered to you in, yes. So joins was delivered. You can see in the chats the admin have published it. Okay. All right. So triggers, no, triggers are not the part of this bootcamp. Day 3 is about how we can do some data aggregation like count, sum, average, or how group by having can work, okay, and how we can use group by to filter data in real world scenarios. In fact, I'll be making sure that we do more of joint practice sessions tomorrow also. That's the idea. Okay. Yes. Anything else? All right. All clear. Thank you. Yes, I have answered triggers. Okay. All right. No, anything which I'm not mentioning in the part of curriculum is not being explained, people. Sorry for the disappointment, but yes, maybe we could have an advanced SQL boot camp if you all request that. So we can definitely have that. But for fresher levels, we are not covering functions or triggers at this point. Okay. But I'm really curious and I'm really happy to see that people have drive to learn these things. So yes, Uday Krishna and Spider-Man, whoever is behind this name, try to request the team is very much into taking the feedbacks and improving or adding things that you want. So you are more than welcome to join our communities on Telegram. We have communities on different platforms. All-in-one document has that. You can reach out to the team and always request whatever you want to learn. Okay. In fact, you can check up with the team if we have any courses available around you that can help you with it. I'm pretty sure that Let's Upgrade as a firm is pretty much capable to cover anything that comes under the umbrella of IT, be it generative AI, be it AI, be it business management, be it backend, front end, MERN, full stack, anything you want. I think we have all covered. UI, UX, you can name anything in the umbrella of IT. There will be sessions that you will be able to find on this platform. Okay. So which concepts should fresher do according to the companies? Specify the domain where you want to do. Okay. All right. Yes. So cool. I think we are done for now. Any other question? I'll take it for maximum minute or two. If not, we will be stopping right over here. All right. I think we are good for now. Tata. Bye bye. Good night to all of you. I'll see you on the finale day 3 tomorrow. Bye bye.